Of course, it's Black Friday, also known as Super Bowl for retail. With the backdrop of a struggling economy and a jobless rate that's at a 26-year high, we get a gauge now of how this holiday season will fare. Stacy Janiak joins me, Vice Chairman and US Retail Leader at Deloitte, and Eric Bedder, Associate Director of Equity Research at Brean Murray, Carret Co. Stacy, let me kick off with you. You, coming into this period, had quite an upbeat survey of how you think people would spend, or the confidence among the consumer. Tell us more about that.
Well, Deloitte surveyed about 10,000 consumers back in September, and we had 51% said they were going to spend the same or more than they did a year ago. And then we just did a pulse survey over the weekend, and 30% said that they were going to spend more than they originally anticipated 2 months ago. So I think what we're seeing is an increasing amount of optimism, which I think is really necessary to outweigh those consumers that are worse off economically than they were a year ago.
I mean, we were saying this when we got the data. We had quite a big data day on Wednesday, and there was a feeling that of the 88% of those in the workforce that are employed, they are being more confident. Generally, overall, consumer sentiment might fall because you're still adding to the unemployed, but at less of a rate.
That's right. And I think what we're seeing is that consumers have paid down their debt. They feel more confident about their job situation than a year ago. And they have been saving up. They've been frugal for the last 12 months. And there's a little bit of that pent-up demand that is getting released with this increasing level of optimism.
Eric, does the retail sector, in an equity sense, look exciting to you?
I think you have to kind of split it up here. I think that the retailers have really traded ahead of some of the news that was just talked about, and I think the manufacturers, in some respects, the apparel manufacturers have not. You look at some of these retailers, they're trading near 52-week highs, so a lot of this turnaround is actually built into the numbers already. Really?
I mean, what would you pick out as being buys and sells? I noticed that you're less upbeat on the teenage retailers. Yeah, I think those for teenagers.
Yeah, they look at the teen segment, and we have sells on American Eagle and Abercrombie & Fitch, and we have a buy on Aeropostale. And what's going on at the teen segment is this segment really has been hurt significantly by the economic changes. They are at all-time highs in unemployment at the 16 to 24-year-old segment, and we estimate the disposable income for teens is down about 20%. And what's going on here, in addition, is that parents are not giving teens as much money as they used to, or they're shopping with them. We saw that a lot, actually, today in our store tours today in Black Friday, that mom and dad come with you, and they're not going to the higher-end plays. They're going to the lower-end plays like an Aeropostale.
They don't take their parents into Abercrombie & Fitch, then?
No, they don't. It's not really an adult-friendly store.
Well, the music is very loud, it has to be said.
The music is loud, it's very sexual, and in some respects it has a lot of perfume smells in it, and that's great for a 16-year-old girl, but that's really not very exciting for a 45-year-old mom.
It's an interesting take. Stacy, what is the takeaway for your clients on retail from the research that you're doing? What is, in a consultancy sense, are you telling them to do physically?
Well, I think we're telling them to try and understand how their consumer has shifted over the last 12 months. It's not the same person it was a year ago, and they're looking for value in a variety of different ways. It's not just a price play. So what we're telling them is to really understand, really focus those promotions. I think consumers expect promotions over the holidays, and if you do it strategically, you can do it without losing the margin.
Have a great weekend, both of you. We'll leave it there. Thank you. Stacy Janiak and Eric Bedder.